Okay, moving right along. Would now like to welcome Victor Cantore, President, CEO, and Director of Amex Exploration. Thank you.
There we go.
Hello, everyone. Right, Amex Exploration. Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Did you enjoy yourself this week?
Absolutely, a great conference, lots of meetings, lots of people from the industry. The mood is really good, gold up, everybody loves it.
And the silver guys very excited today.
And the silver guys too, all the precious metals, yes.
Right, okay, well, better start. Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone and maybe a little background on the company, where we're at today.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Victor Cantore. I'm the president and CEO of the company, of Amex Exploration. We're an advanced exploration project. We've put out a new MRE just a couple of weeks ago. We have a historical PA, and we will be putting out a new PA coming up very shortly. And I got to do the waivers. It's, I am the CEO of the company. I will be making forward-looking statements. Please refer to all the waivers that's on our PowerPoint presentation. So let's get on with it then. Once this part's gone, then we can really talk.
The lawyers are winning.
Absolutely, they're all
brilliant. Well, look, I think yours has been a sort of huge success story of recent years because you're drilling super high-grade gold. People were super excited about the potential of this thing. And then you went out and put out a maiden resource. What happened?
So I'll start off with, we've put in $125 million of exploration on this project. We put out the first resource, again, it's historical, it was 1.6 million ounces. Property-wide, it was about 4 grams. I think it was really misunderstood because people thought that we would have to go spend another $125 million to get it to much higher number. But in reality, it is something that could be converted into a mine. At least that's why we did the PA as fast as possible. So you can tell the economics of it. We've put in another 46,000 meters of drilling, and we've added 46,000 meters of drilling, and now the resource is quite spectacular.
Right. And the reason I'm asking you this is because I think there's a slight new paradigm in mining. We're seeing a lot of this where, because of the state of the markets, because of the absence of capital from the usual sources, companies are having to think about things a different way in terms of financing the future. Now, you've changed things up a bit. So what's the plan?
So the plan is very interesting. So I'll give you the numbers of the MRE.
Yeah.
So it's 2.3 million ounces. Average grade across the property is about 5.44 grams. But the real interesting part is what's in measured and indicated. So measured and indicated is 1.615 million ounces at 6.14 grams per ton. And within that, you have what we call the Champagne zone. It's got 831,000 ounces at 16.2 grams. So having this high grade, if you look at on our site, you would be able to look at dips around 89 degrees. It's almost vertical. This is definitely an underground mine. So the way we're going to stage this is do a bulk sample. We'll file our bulk sample permitting soon. That's usually a 6-month process. You do a one year build out, and the portal that you put, like you're actually putting a mining portal, like it'll be 4.5 meters by 4.5 meters as the historical PA that's only 6 months ago states, or 5 meters by 5 meters, and simultaneously we'll put out a new PA, but it's going to show 4 years of toll milling, and then with the full-on mine after that. So by the time you will have extracted your bulk sample, short time after that you'll be fully permitted for toll milling, and you can do the numbers. You can do the numbers on your. I'm not allowed to talk about the numbers, but you can do the numbers on yourself. Depending how many tons, when you're mining half an ounce, it's quite. It could be very, very extremely profitable.
So, I did the math. It's a lot of ounces. It's a lot of dollars as well. But I want to kind of, maybe some people in the room are used to what I saw when I first came in from banking days from Africa, from Australia and so forth, which was, you Canadian guys were nuts. You were like drilling and raising money and just trying to see how big these things got. That doesn't work now in all instances. So is that the rationale here for you?
Yeah, I mean, look, as an investor, if I put myself in an investor's shoes, if you're giving me an economic study that shows that you can build an economic mine with wide margins, then go ahead and build that mine. I'd rather you drill later on. I mean, look, the rocks that we're in are about 3 billion years old. What I'm proposing is that with the free cash flow, because you'll have substantial amounts of money, then I'll turn it into that thing. I'll turn it into Swiss cheese. I mean, we have 197 square kilometers on the property. We've barely, I could say, it scratched the surface on this thing. So I'd rather find more ounces with the least dilution possible. So that's really where and I think more companies. I mean, you have to be well, you have to be lucky enough that you have a property like this. So when you look at those 830,000 ounces at 16 grams per ton, it's no different than you hear it all the time in the industry where people say, "Oh, I have a high-grade starter pit." Well, I got a high-grade underground mine that I can put into production. And getting a bulk sample, I mean, will cost you $35 million tops, and then it's ramp development after that. So, in 2028, once you're permitted, you can start production, toll milling.
So this is your answer to how do I fund my future growth? It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. And the other part that you're going to be doing, we will get a feasibility study for a full-on mine with all the open pits and everything else that goes with it. Timing on that will be further down. Now, what differentiates us from the other companies that in that period where you're permitting your open pits, your tailings management facility, if you have one, and your mill, well, we'll actually be in revenues, and you can use that money. I mean, two things to de-risk the project. You can use that money, you put it aside, so it de-risks it from a financial standpoint of view. And after 4 years of toll milling your Champagne zone, which is 50% of the M&I right now, you'll be able to know how the rocks behave. They don't always behave the way you want them to, and that's how you can properly size your mill.
Right. So, and one of the long poles in the tent here, is it just the permitting component? Because everything else seems fairly standard.
Yeah.
Right? You just got to make the decision to start the process.
Absolutely.
What's the permitting look like?
Permitting for a bulk sample, which will permit you to open up your portal. It's a mining portal. That's usually it's a 6 month process. So what you do is you get a feasibility study for just the toll milling part. You should get that within 6 months because it's not very complicated. You're not talking about open pits, tailings management facility, any of that. And that will trigger your positive feasibility study will trigger you to start all your permitting process. Permitting process without any, for just toll milling, without fast tracking anything, you're looking at maybe 2 years in Quebec. Your BAP process is usually 2 years. You start your environmental, so that would take you into 2028 if you get your positive feasibility study in early 2026. So right. You'll be a producer at that point.
Okay, so I think very quickly and very simply outline the plan. The market's heard the plan for the last couple of months. Since April, I think there's been a sharp recovery from the drop-off we saw after the MRE. Are you getting any pushback at all? It doesn't seem to be.
No, not at all. When you, at first, when this was proposed, the mining engineers, their eyebrows went up. What is this? And when you start breaking it down, and it really makes a lot of sense. You're staging your production. It's really, you're de-risking. You're actually de-risking it, and you'll actually get into production a lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think this is a re-rating because you're going to call yourself a producer. It's the re-rating is coming from I've done the math. The quantum of with the ounces coming out of the ground at today's prices, and you're going to have to demonstrate, I guess, recoveries and payables from the toll milling, etc. So, what's the timing on understanding the economics further with the fees?
Well, we've done metallurgical testing. If you look at the Champagne zone, it's quite exceptional. It's really free gold. We've been getting 99 in lab. We've been getting 99% plus recovery. We've used 95% for that, and that's where at least half of the M&I is there. So that's where you're getting most of it. The other zones we've done the metallurgical testing also, and you're getting numbers of 97, 98% on for the gold. And our silver, there is silver in the project. It'll just be credits. It's really all our economics is done only on gold.
Okay, you've had an extraordinary exploration phase. You're now talking about moving into kind of build phase. The team's going to have to evolve and change. You're going to maybe some new board members. What have you done about that?
Absolutely. So in our circular right now, you'll see there's Phil Brummett. He's an ex-Lundin person. He's worked also with Luca Mining and a couple of other ones. So he's been building mines for the last 40 years. We brought in another mining engineer that's working full time with us. That was at the Greenstone. He was at the Greenstone mine from feasibility right to first pour. He was there from 2019 to last year when we hired him. So yes, there's a transition that you have to bring in mine builders here, and we're definitely preparing for that. That's exactly what we're doing.
Are you going to be part of that team?
Absolutely.
Good man. Well, look, we're going to wrap it up there because we've been told to speed things up because we're running behind, folks. So I think hopefully the message has got across. I think it's a great story, one of our favorites for sure. So Victor, thanks very much for your time today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, and hope you enjoyed the show.